Hello friends, welcome again to the Brilliancy Point. This is the second part of the explanation of this story, the singing lesson. In the first part we saw how Miss Meadows was feeling after receiving a letter from her fiancé Basil and how she was reacting on it, how she was behaving with her students and all. And now we will continue from where we stopped, and very soon we will get to know the climax in the story, and also we will discuss in detail the end of the story and the justification of the title. So let us begin. So the present situation is that Miss Meadows is again and again thinking over the fact that Basil has used the word disgust in his letter. So she is a kind of hunting for the reason. She is trying to justify that why has Basil used such a strong word in his letter. And due to this overthinking of this fact, overthinking about the lines, the words of the letter, a kind of pain and also an anger is developing inside the heart of Miss Meadows. And she wants her strong feelings, her pain, her anger to come out, to be outpoured. She wants an outpouring of these feelings, and that is the reason she is giving so harsh instructions to her girls. She says, repeat, repeat, more expression girls, once more. Fast are too fast. The older girls were crimson. Some of the younger ones began to cry. Big spots of rain blew against the windows. I could hear the willows whispering, not that I do not love you. So, Miss Meadows is giving instructions to her girls to sing it with more expression and with more agony, a kind of more loudly and more harsh sounding. And now when Miss Meadows gives such instructions to the girls, so obviously it required a lot of effort from the side of the students, from the side of the girls, because Miss Meadows was one who was actually going through all these situations, through all these incidents. She knew what had happened with her, so she could relate with it. But these girls, they did not know what has happened with Miss Meadows and why are they asked to sing this very dreadful lament. Why are they singing such a lament? They don't know the reason, so they could not feel it. And since these girls were actually not feeling what they were singing, and that is why it was difficult for them to sing that lament wholeheartedly and to sing it with a whole lot of expressions and all, to sing it in a way that Miss Meadows was expecting. And it was so difficult for them, and so many efforts were required on their side, that even the older girls, they were crimson. Crimson means, have you ever seen crimson color? It's like red. And you know, when we do a very tiring, a very hard work, if we do, then our face and a kind of we turn red. For example, if we play for a longer period of time in sunlight, then also our face and all, we turn red, a kind of red. So now so much of efforts, so much of physical as well as mental effort that they were putting, and the younger girls, they even started crying. Okay, and now big spots of rain blew against the windows and one could hear the willows whispering. So this is a very beautiful imagery used here. See, if we look at the words of the lament, which says that very soon the roses of pleasure, they fade, and the autumn season, the winter season turns very harsh, so that it appears like killing. So the atmosphere around is actually relating with the lament. The atmosphere has turned a little violent. There might be a storm around, and there is a very heavy raining going on, and those big drops of rain, they are kind of striking the window of the room, and those raindrops are also creating a sound, which means that they are a kind of supporting the lament. They are exaggerating the lament. They are aggravating the lament. In a way, they are also adding an expression to the lament. So this is a kind of a hyperbole used by the writer so as to make it more illustrative, so as to make that lament appear more dreadful. And you also might have noticed that when the raindrops, heavy raindrops, they strike the window, they create a very unpleasant sound. It is not a pleasant sound. They create a very unpleasant sound, and it is very harsh sounding. So this is the meaning of this paragraph. But my darling, if you love me, thought Miss Meadows, I don't mind how much it is. Love me as little as you like. But she knew he did not love her. Not to have cared enough to scratch out that word disgust so that she could not read it. Soon autumn yields into winter drear. She would have to leave the school too. She could never face the science mistress or the girls after it got known. She would have to disappear somewhere. Passes away. The voices began to die, to fade, to whisper, to vanish. Now, this paragraph is very, very important because it is underlying the most important theme in the story. Now, what Miss Meadows is thinking, she is thinking that even if Basil did not love her, then also he should not have broken off their marriage, broken off their engagement, which clearly indicates that Miss Meadows did not value love. She did not value, she did not care if Basil loved her or not. What she cared was that the society should not mock at her. So, Miss Meadows is not feeling dejected because she loved Basil or because her love denied her or rejected her. She is feeling dejected. She is feeling so disheartened because now she would again have to face the society. She would again have to face the torments or the taunts of the society. Society would again mock at her. And this is what Miss Meadows is apprehensive of. This is what Miss Meadows is afraid of. And that is why she did not want the marriage to be broken off. Because from the letter, we can clearly interpret that Basil did not love Miss Meadows. He was not even careful enough to have scratched that word disgust clearly so that no one could see that. Which shows that he wrote that letter in a hurry without caring for Miss Meadows. And Miss Meadows knows this fact that he did not love her. But then also she is a kind of wanted to marry him because of the society, because she wants an image in the society, because she wants a good image in the society, she wants a status in the society. So this is a very important fact which is highlighted here, that Miss Meadows did not value love, but she valued the societal status over love. Now suddenly the door opened. Here is a little twist in the story. A little girl who was wearing a blue dress. Okay, her name was Monica. She enters the music hall and she tells Miss Meadows that Miss Wyatt, who is the mistress or who is the principal of the school, she is calling Miss Meadows in her room. She wants to meet Miss Meadows. So Miss Meadows, she gives instructions to her girls, to the girls who are singing. She instructs them to talk silently while she returns. Then Miss Meadows, again she walks through the cold and silent corridors, okay, towards the room of Miss Wyatt. And then Miss Wyatt, she hands over a telegram to Miss Meadows. So the reason why Miss Wyatt had called Miss Meadows was a telegram. So Miss Meadows at this is surprised that she asks, a telegram for me, Miss Wyatt? Then suddenly Miss Meadows thinks that this telegram definitely will be from Basil. And what Miss Meadows thinks is that Basil might have committed suicide because the way he had written the letter stating that he is not a marrying man and saying that he loves her, but still he is not confident about marrying her. So, and he also states that he feels the idea of settling down fills him with disgust. So this kind of letter written by him a little back and then again a telegram. So Miss Meadows thinks that he might have taken a wrong step. क्योंकि जिस तरीके से उसने लेटर लिखा था तो मतलब एक तरीके से बहुत ही हिला देने वाली घटना थी, वो एक बहुत ही दुखद ऐसी हिला देने वाली घटना के बाद हमें भी क्या आता है कि अब सामने वाला जो है जिसने ये लेटर लिखा है उसने कोई और गलत कदम ना उठा लिया हो, तो मिस मेडोज को ये लगता है कि उसने सुसाइड कर लिया होगा. लेकिन जैसे ही मिस मेडोज शी ओपन्स दैट टेलीग्राम, शी रीड्स, पे नो अटेंशन टू लेटर, must have been mad, bought hat stand today, Basil. So this was what was written in the telegram. that pay no attention to the previous letter. It must have been mad, and that Basil has that day he had also brought head stand for them. And now Miss Wyatt, who was sitting just in front of Miss Meadows, she also might be curious to know that what is the reason for such a sudden telegram, right? So she also might have been thinking that there might be some bad news or a very serious case. So Miss Wyatt says, I do hope it's nothing very serious. And now Miss Meadows, who had already read the telegram, obviously she was blushing, she was very happy, and she says, oh no, thank you, Miss Wyatt, it's nothing bad at all. It's, and she gives an apologetic little laugh. It's from my fiance saying that, and she pauses. To this, Miss Wyatt replies, you have 15 minutes more of your class, Miss Meadows, haven't you? Means she asks Miss Meadows in a quite a sarcastic way that some time of your classes is still left, so you must hurry and you should continue with your class. So Miss Meadows says, yes, Miss Wyatt, and she runs towards the door. Then Miss Wyatt says, just 1 minute, Miss Meadows. I must say, I don't approve of my teachers having telegrams sent to them in school hours, unless in case of very bad news such as death or a very serious accident or something to that effect. Good news, Miss Meadows, will always keep, you know. So, this paragraph actually gives an indication that Miss Wyatt expected that the telegram must have a very bad news or something like that, and even Miss Meadows also expected that Basil must have taken a wrong step or something like that, but on the contrary, it was a good news for Miss Meadows. So obviously by the expressions of Miss Meadows, Miss Wyatt understood that it is a good news, and hence she says that in school hours we don't tolerate that telegrams should come to the teachers, okay, unless it is a very, so that is the code of conduct or the norms of the school. But Miss Meadows, she might not have paid any attention to this because she was extremely happy, she was ecstatic, and she was like बोलता है ना सातवें आसमान पर, so she was like having the wings of hope, of love, of joy, and she headed back to the music hall, up the aisle, up the steps, over to the piano. And then, reaching the music hall, she says, page 32, Mary, page 32. And picking up the yellow chrysanthemum, she held it to her lips to hide her smile. Then she turned to the girls, rapped with her baton. Page 32, girls, page 32. And on page 32, there was a very beautiful song, a very merrymaking, a kind of celebration. We come here today with flowers overladen, with baskets of fruit and ribbons to boot, to congratulate and so on. Now Miss Meadows cries, stop, stop, this is awful, this is dreadful, and she beamed at her girls. What's the matter with you all? Think, girls, think of what you are singing. Use your imaginations. With flowers overladen, baskets of fruit and ribbons to boot, and congratulate. Miss Meadows broke off. Don't look so doleful, girls. It ought to sound warm, joyful, eager. Congratulate. Once more. Quickly, all together. Now then. So, now we know that what had actually happened with the girls and how the mood of Miss Meadows has actually shifted to a contrary mood. Okay, it has completely shifted. Like earlier, she was asking the girls to sing a lament, and that too without any expression. And the way she was giving instructions, like it was a quite a rude behavior, and the girls were actually terrified because that was not the usual behavior of Miss Meadows. So the girls were terrified and they were expressionless, and they were kind of, their mood was also changed. And now suddenly if Miss Meadows comes and asks them to sing a celebration song, then they could not put their heart and soul into it, and they could not sing it to the fullest, to their best, and they could not sing it so merrily. And one reason is that because whatever had happened, actually it had happened with Miss Meadows. She was going through some incidents, some situations, so she was actually able to feel it. If we talk about the lament also, then Miss Meadows was able to feel the lament, and here also this merry song, this celebration song, Miss Meadows is actually able to feel it from her heart because she is actually happy from inside. But the girls, they don't know what has happened with Miss Meadows, so they could not feel it and they could not put their heart and soul into it. Okay, and this time Miss Meadows' voice sounded over all other voices, full, deep, glowing with expression. So, the last two lines actually highlight that how happy was Miss Meadows to know that that Basil has asked her to ignore the previous letter. So, this is the story. This is the end of the story. A very important point to note in this story is that if we once again take a look at the letter written by Basil, which says that I feel more and more strongly that our marriage would be a mistake. Not that I do not love you. I love you as much as it is possible for me to love any woman. But I have come to the conclusion that I am not a married man, and the idea of settling down fills me with nothing but disgust. So, Basil says that he loves Miss Meadows as much as he can love any woman, but still he is not a marrying man, and the idea of marrying fills him with disgust. So, if we try to look at the in depth meaning of these lines, then these lines are an indication towards the homosexuality of Basil. Basil might be a gay or a homosexual person because he is not confident about marrying any woman, because he is saying that I love you as much as it is possible for me to love any woman, but still I am not a marrying man. I am not confident if I can marry a woman. But then also she is so desperate for marrying that she is ready to marry Basil, who is in the first place who is not confident to marry a woman, and in the second place he is in one moment he is writing this kind of a letter, and other moment he is sending a telegram to her asking her to ignore this letter. So, which states that he is not a very confident and a stable person, and probably he might have sent that telegram because of the societal pressure, again because of his family pressure and all, because this letter might be written by him what he feels, and that telegram might be due to some pressure by the society, by his family. If he is a homosexual person, then probably he is not willing to marry a woman, but his family and society may be pressurizing him to marry a woman, and that is the reason that one moment he writes such a letter and other moment he sends such a telegram. So, what conclusion can we draw from this? First conclusion that we can draw about Miss Meadows, if it is asked in the question to describe the character sketch or describe the character of Miss Meadows, then you should mention this point that Miss Meadows is actually not a self-confident and a self-reliant person, and she is so dependent. She is so dependent on others that she is even ready to marry a man like Basil, and which also shows that she has somewhere lost her self respect, and she is like she is very much tormented by the society, and she is very much pressurized by the society for marrying. And the second point to be noted is that this story is highlighting the mindset of the patriarchal society, that people around actually feel that women are dependent on men, and that is why the society was actually mocking at and looking down upon Miss Meadows for not having married till the age of 30. Now, lastly, one more important point to be noted is that Miss Meadows in this story is actually personifying or is actually depicting all those people in the society who marry just because of societal pressure. They don't understand the value of love. They don't consider marriage as a bond of love. Rather than this, they consider marriage as a matter of social respect, social dignity, and they just end up marrying anyone who the society finds suitable. While marrying, they don't understand that the person they are marrying, they would have to spend their entire life with them. But they just think that after marrying, they will just get a good image in the society, a kind of a prestigious position in the society, and for that sake, they just marry. And probably after marrying, after some years, they may regret or they may uh, hate this decision of theirs, but at that time when they are marrying, they are not concerned about anything other than the societal pressure. And this is a practice which continues even today. Some people are there who do like that. So this should not be done, and this is a kind of a negative aspect of our society which has been highlighted in this story. Now, at last, let us talk about the title of the story, The Singing Lesson. Now, the story actually justifies its title, The Singing Lesson, as we know that the entire story actually revolves around a music teacher named Miss Meadows, and both her feelings, both her both her contradictory feelings, happiness as well as despair, both of these feelings are actually expressed in this story with the help of singing, with the help of a song. For example, when she was uh, very heartbroken, very disheartened in the beginning, full of despair, then she asks her students to sing a lament, and the words of the lament, the lines of the lament actually are in sync, in line with her feelings, as it is about the harshness of winter, that how winter marks the end of life, because uh, due to extreme chillness, due to extreme harshness of winter, many plants and many animals in cold areas, they die. So winter marks the end of life. And similarly, here Miss Meadows, the letter that Miss Meadows had received, it is marking the end of a relationship. So that is why this lament is also a very important, a very beautiful imagery used in the story, because this is completely in sync with what has happened with Miss Meadows. It is completely similar to what has happened with Miss Meadows. So first point is this, and secondly, when she is too happy, too ecstatic, then also she expresses her feelings with the help of this beautiful song, this celebration song. So that is why the title is The Singing Lesson, because both of the feelings of Miss Meadows, the despair, the hopelessness, as well as the happiness, are expressed in this story with the help of song, two different songs. And the second reason is that one idea that this story wants to convey is that what role music plays in our life. As I told you while explaining the story, that when we are happy, we want to listen or we want to sing a very happy, a very merry making song. And when we are sad, we usually like to listen to a sad song, to a silent song, something like that. So music actually has a very deep connection with our emotions, with our feelings. And music also expresses our emotions, because whenever we are singing a song of particular genre, or whenever we are listening to a song of particular genre, it is actually connected with our feelings. How we feel, we like to listen to that kind of a song, and it happens even if we don't notice it, it happens. And many times the music also expresses our thoughts, our ideas. So this is one of the ideas that this story wants to convey, that how music plays a very important role in our lives, and how it connects us with our own feelings. So with that, we have completed the story, and I hope you have understood it very well, and like and comment this video if you really like it, and please subscribe our channel if you want more such videos.